Welcome to the Student Bible Study, a biblically focused study geared toward younger audiences. Our hope is to inspire this generation to share the good news of Jesus Christ with everyone they encounter.
16:24 through 28. Okay, I'll give you just one more second to get to Matthew 16:24 through 28. Okay, you guys ready? Here's what it says. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what profit is it to a man if he does gain the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man," it's talking about Jesus, "for the Son of Man will come in the glory of his Father, for his angels, and then he will reward each according to his works. Assuredly, I say to you, there are some standing here who shall not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." We're going to read it again. Why are we going to read it again? Because it's good. Yep. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." Okay, 3 points as always. We're just going to stop with that verse there. That kind of sums up really what we're looking at today. If a man's going to follow Jesus, if a woman's going to follow Jesus, if mankind is going to follow Jesus, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow him fully. 3 points, as always. Deny yourself, number one. Deny yourself. You know, oftentimes we see ourselves as fighting the devil, and we are. There's a spiritual realm, the demonic, the unseen that we don't see that's fighting against us. We have angels all around us fighting for us. There's some things we don't see, we don't know. The devil is not omnipresent, so he's not all places at all times. But he has an army, and they're working very hard. So we are fighting the devil. We do have a true enemy. But, you know, oftentimes we neglect to even fight ourselves. And I'm like, you know, that's the first thing in the way, right? If we're going to fight the devil, if we're going to be spiritually mature, don't you think the first thing we need to do is to deny our flesh, deny who we are? So we are fighting our sinful desires. We are fighting ourselves. You, that's talking about you, say, it's talking about me? Sure. We're talking about, the Bible is talking about you. Deny yourself. Deny your desires. Take up your cross and follow Jesus. You know, there's a beautiful story in the Bible about Jesus that he's been beaten. He's hungry, I'm sure. He's thirsty. I just try to imagine what's going on with Jesus as he's making his way to Calvary and he has to carry his cross. And he's human, by the way. You know, God, that's the beautiful thing about Christianity. Jesus is a person. You understand that? So God is a person. Like, it's not some fairy tale. It's not just make-believe. We don't just feel his presence. Like, there's the Holy Spirit that we feel and we know is inside. But God is a person, the person of Jesus Christ. So he's a person, so he experiences the things we do. And he's on his way to Calvary, and he's beaten, and he's broken down. He can't even make it. And a guy named Simon comes along, carries his cross for me. It's just a beautiful picture of, and so the Bible goes on to tell us that Jesus carries your cross for you. Take up your cross, walk to Calvary, be crucified to who you are, to your flesh, to yourself. Deny you and take up Jesus Christ. Deny yourself. Your flesh is in a sense, is sinful because of what we've inherited by the way of the world. So fight the devil, yes, but also fight your flesh. Every impulse. I just saw a study come out. I'm not a social scientist, by the way, but I listen to a lot of people who I trust their data and their research. And pretty much it just says, like, people are not self-aware. 5% of people are self-aware. So what does that mean to be self-aware? If we polled the room, if I just took somebody, if I took myself, and somebody said, "What do you think about you?" And I wrote down a couple of things. And then we polled the entire room. Only 5% can match that up with what other people think about them. So we don't have really good, we're not very good at being self-aware. Most of the time I've noticed that when we're not self-aware, we think other people hate us, like we're no good, and most of the time, that's really not what people think about us. But regardless of what others think about you, regardless of even what you think about yourself, remember your flesh, whether that's prideful, you see that sometimes, some people are just arrogant and prideful, or it's a pity party all the time. It's always poor me, poor me, poor me. We talked about this already. Both are equally damaging. But I want you to be encouraged. We're not looking for an opinion of another person. I'm not even looking for the opinion of myself. Deny yourself. Deny your flesh. It doesn't matter. I really don't care. It's what about God thinks about you. And the Bible tells us that he loves you, he cares about you, and he wants you. He truly desires to have you. So deny yourself, take up your cross, and carry it to Calvary. That's number one. Number two, you cannot save yourself. Young men and young women, this is good for you because I think oftentimes we think that we can just get it done. Hey, I can just, hey, I'll live a good enough life. I'll come to church enough. I'll pray enough and those things. And I'll just do it my very best to follow God. But I want you to know, you cannot save yourself. It's not possible. It will not happen. The only way that you can be saved, the Bible tells us, is by the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. We talked about how Jesus was fully human, right? You understand that? Jesus is God, and He's a person. But His blood is divine. What does that mean, His blood is divine? That means your blood, you bleed red, right? And you got some cells, and I'm not the scientist on that, but your blood's just blood. It pours out. One day, there won't be any blood flowing through your body, right? It's just blood. But the blood of Christ is divine. It's the blood of God. It's divine blood. And that blood was poured out, was sacrificed, so that you don't have to. So that you get to live in eternity with Jesus Christ. So you cannot save yourself. You can try and you can try. Most of the time when we're coming to the altar, we're crying out. We just can't seem to get over the hurdle. We're trying to do it on our own. We're trying to save ourselves. We're trying to be a good enough person. And the Bible tells us we can never do that. Christ is the only perfect person. So lay it down at His feet. Allow Him to carry your cross, to carry your burdens to Calvary. You cannot save yourself. Jesus gives us new life. We are a new creation in Him. His blood is divine. So in simple, this is a really short point, surrender yourselves. Why are you holding back? What are you holding on to? Is it the opinion of your friends? I just have to believe this, guys. Catch this. Hear me on this. I just have to believe that today somebody is holding out on letting God move in their life because of the opinions of their friends. Are you kidding me? You would rather care about what the person beside you thinks of you than what God thinks of you? Give up. Surrender. Give it to Jesus. I'm telling you, it's good. Why? Listen, if I told you it's the middle of June, by the way, it's so hot. I got the towel on today. It is blistering hot. But hey, we're going to praise God in whatever we get. But if I told you it's going to snow tomorrow, would you believe me? No, you'd probably go to Google or you'd say, it's July. It's not going to. So if I told you Jesus is good, why are you going to believe me? Go try it. Give your life to Him. Try it and see. I guarantee you, again, don't take my word for it. It's a personal relationship with you. Give your life to Him and see what happens. See what happens. I've never seen somebody say, hey, I gave my life to Jesus and I regretted it. It's always, oh my goodness, I should have done it sooner. This is amazing. So surrender yourself. Take up the cross. Go to Calvary. Allow yourself to be crucified. Allow the opinions of others to be crucified with it. And only serve the one opinion of God. He truly is the only one. His opinion is truly the only one that matters. What He thinks about you. And you know you have the favor of God. Do you understand that? You have the favor of God. You live in a country that's for the most part safe and free. You're at Camp Wesley, which for the most part is safe and free. We have beautiful facilities here. You guys get to sleep in air conditioned for them. We have a beautiful meal, by the way. That's amazing. We don't have AC, I don't think so. Hey, we're still thankful though. But we have this. Look, we have this. Some people don't have this. So we are truly blessed. We truly have the favor of God. You know what? If we didn't have a dime in our name, if we didn't have the next meal, guess what? He is still good. He is still worthy of our praise. And His opinion is still the only one that matters. So deny yourself. Take up your cross. And understand that you really physically and spiritually cannot save yourself. Only Jesus can do that. Number three, and this is more of encouragement for you. I want you to do this in closing. I want you to do this. I want you to ask God to see your reflection. You say, what does that mean? I know there's probably mirrors somewhere on campus, and if there's not mirrors, most of you have cell phones, so you can pull it up. And isn't that always awkward when you pull the phone up and you're in an awkward position and you got the double chin? Isn't that always terrible? But you have a way to see your reflection. You have opinions about yourself. Others have opinions of you as well. But I want you, and I want to encourage you, to ask God to see your true reflection for what He sees about you. Just say, hey, God, can you show me my reflection? What kind of life am I living? Before I go start pointing out other people's sins, before I go start parading to the world about what I know or what I've done, ask God to see your reflection. So basically, who do you see in the mirror? Again, we all have opinions of that, right? I get up in the morning, I got bed hair, and, it's a terrible look. You're right? Like, I got to get ready, I got to brush my teeth, right? And so, again, I have opinions of myself. I see the ugly, I see the bad, I see the good, and the same is true for you. You see the bad, you see the good. You know your life. Who else knows everything about you other than God? That's it. And again, his opinion is truly the only one that matters. So take up your cross, deny yourselves, deny the flesh, serve God. The Bible tells us that in the end times, and by the way, guys, nobody knows the day or the hour that this thing's going to end, that Jesus is going to come back. Nobody knows. But he gives us signs of the end times. And I don't know how close is close. I really don't know. Is that another couple of thousand years? Is that a couple of months? Is that a couple of days? I don't know. What I know is I see the signs, and I think you do too. And he says in those end times, in those end days, people will be lovers of themselves. They may talk about God. It even says in the Bible, it says, we'll talk about God, but we will have no regard for the power. We will have no reverence for Christ. We will talk about Him, we'll know Him, we'll whatever, but we will not serve Him. We will serve ourselves. Gen Z, millennials, whoever you are, don't be like that. Serve Jesus Christ. Surrender who you are. Surrender to the flesh. Don't worry about the opinions of you or others. Do not look to you to be saved. Look to Jesus. So who is in the mirror? What's the reflection that God sees? Is it a hypocrite? Do you come up here and pour yourself out at the altar? Do you come, maybe you lead us in worship, maybe you're the one preaching, whoever it may be. What is your reflection? What does God see about you? Because again, His opinion is truly the only one that matters. And so do you reflect Jesus? This is the ongoing theme this week, guys. When we look at the world with a biblical worldview, what do you see when you look out into the world? What do you see when you see yourself? What do you see when you see friendships and whatever? Do you reflect the love and grace and mercy that Jesus has extended to you? Do you reflect His goodness and His glory? You're not perfect, so it's not about you, but what is harvest inside of you? Do you truly have the Spirit living in you? Is Jesus in your heart? Is your reflection of Him and not of self and not of opinions and not of popularity and not even of the future? Some people serve the future. Do you understand that? Some people they're so caught up in what's to come next, and that's easy in our culture, right? We're looking for, hey, what can I get next? So we begin to serve the future, the future version of yourself. Don't serve that either. Truly serve and seek after the heart of God. And just ask Him, Lord, allow me to see my reflection in your eyes. What is my life? What is my sin? Where do I need to go? Where are you taking me, Lord? You may take me to Kentucky. You may take me to South Carolina. You may take me to Alaska. You're going to take me to the uttermost parts of the world. Wherever you want me to go, Father, allow me to see my reflection and take me there. I want to be in your will. So we're going to leave Camp Wesley, and we'll conclude with this, worship team, if you want to go ahead and make your way up. You're going to leave Camp Wesley tomorrow, some point in time. This is really, truly your last day. But what is your reflection as you leave? Because it's a beautiful thing to come down here and commit your life. But there's a walk to come, and the devil's going to come after you, going to throw darts your way, going to try to mix up your opinions of yourself, going to even use the opinions of others to try to bring you down and discredit the goodness and glory of God. Don't allow it to happen. Remember, we serve the one true King, Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching the Student Bible Study. If you like this clip, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and help us get the message out of Jesus Christ. God bless.